I'm on the right one. So again, good morning everyone. And if you've been here before, you know what we are going to do. We are going to do yin-yang yoga. And if you've been here before, you already know my name. But if you haven't been here before, nice to meet you. My name is Lisa and I teach different kinds of yoga at het Universitair Sportcentrum. So before we start, a couple of things that I want to say, and I'm going to close my window real quick because you may get disturbed by noise. So, the disclaimer as usual before we start. First thing, yoga or exercise in general shouldn't hurt. If you do feel pain in your body, especially around the joint areas, you can think of the wrists, the spine, the ankles, stuff like that. Then please come out of the pose and make sure that you are comfortable in a pose that suits you, or play around with the limbs in a way that you don't feel any pain anymore. So, yes. Second thing, it is always nice when you're practicing yoga to either have a pillow or a blanket that you can fold a couple of times to make sure that when you are sitting, you can comfortably sit with your spine straight. It's also nice to have 2 blocks around, or 1. I'm not entirely sure if we're going to use them today, we will see. But they're always nice to have around. So for yin-yang yoga, it means that first we are going into the active part, making the body warm, making the body moving, and then we are going to move for the last 30 minutes into the yin part, which means that we are going to fully relax each and every muscle in the body to not only target the muscles, but also the tissues around it. And I think this little fellow over here is being a little bit active, so I'm very sorry if he's going to make a little bit of noise. He feels that it is playtime, and I kind of agree, but I also kind of don't because I want to teach yoga. So, with that being said, I think we can just start and hop on in to the meditation. So you can come sit onto your sitting bones. Again, make sure that your spine is nice and straight and that you can sit comfortably. If you notice the hips falling towards the back, the spine starts to round, the shoulders fall forward. Grab a pillow, grab a blanket, place it under your bum, and have a nice straight spine. From there, we place the back of the hands onto the knees. And during the next inhalation, we draw the shoulders up to the ears. Exhaling, rolling the shoulders back down, closing the eyes or keeping a soft gaze downwards. And first of all, just take a couple of deep breaths in and out to allow yourself to come into that meditative state of mind. To allow yourself to come back home into your own breath, into your own body, into your own mind. And today we are going to focus a little bit on our senses during this meditation. So we are starting with the sense of touch. And I want you to focus on your body, on what you feel with your body. So maybe you feel your mat under your body. Maybe you feel the structure, the cold or warm. Maybe you feel the air around you. Again, it can be warm, it can be cold. Maybe there's a little breeze if you have a window open. And maybe you feel the back of the hands or wrists touching the knees or the thighs. Just looking for you, what you experience with your sense of touch. can move a little bit more inwards on what you are sensing on the inside of your body. And you may notice that some parts of the body feel quite relaxed. Maybe other parts of the body feel a little bit tense still. Maybe you notice that some parts of the body are warmer. Some parts of the body are colder. And again, just observing, experiencing what is happening in your body. Looking at it without any judgment. Slowly in your own tempo, you're going to switch to the next sense, which is the sense of hearing. At first, I want you to focus on whatever you are hearing. Near you, inside the room that you are currently in. And from there, I want you to pick your favorite sound and just listen to that. And if that sound fades away, you can pick your second favorite sound and then listen to that. And of course, if that sound also fades away, you pick your third favorite sound and so on. Then we're going to do the same for sounds that are a little bit farther away. Again, just listening to whatever sounds there are. You don't need to know where they are coming from, what the source is. Just listening, observing, and picking your favorite sound. So these sounds that are farther away, they can be outside of your room, maybe even outside of your house, depending on where you are practicing. Just listening and observing. And slowly, you're going to wake the body back up by wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. And on the next exhalation, still with the eyes closed, we drop the chin down towards the chest. The chin still tucked, we roll the right ear towards the right shoulder. One deep inhalation, we stay at this side. Exhaling, switching sides, but moving the chin towards the middle of the chest and then the left ear all the way over to the left shoulder. One inhalation here again and exhaling, switching sides in your own breathing rhythm, your own tempo. And just doing this to warm up the neck muscles, the shoulder muscles a little bit more. And today we are going to mainly focus on those shoulder and back and chest muscles to open them up, to relax them. And gently we bring your chin towards the middle of the chest again. And next inhalation, chin goes back up to neutral position. And exhaling, gently opening the eyes back up. From here, we're going to warm up the body a little bit more. We're going to start in the toe squats. So what we are going to do for the toe squats, you're coming to sit on your shins. And from there, we tuck the heels into the mat. If anatomically possible, make sure your little toe is also into the mat. And then with your butt, you sit onto your heels. If this is a little bit too much, you notice that throughout the warming up, it gets a little bit too much. You can also go for a regular folded seated position. So from here, we are placing the hands onto the shoulders. And on your exhalation, bring the arms to the front, collapsing the chest, so we're rounding the spine. Shoulder blades move away from each other. On the inhalation, with the arms, make a big circle up and to the back to open up the chest. Shoulder blades move towards each other. Exhaling, arms to the front. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling to the front. Inhaling, opening up. Exhaling to the front. Next inhalation, we're going the other way around, so the shoulders stay low and the arms go to the back. Exhaling, shoulders go up, arms to the front, collapsing the chest. Inhaling, opening the chest. Exhaling. One more time. Inhaling. And one more time. Exhaling. From here, when you are ready, you come into all fours. So hands and knees. Make sure the wrists are below the shoulders. The knees hip apart. And if your feet are a little bit sleepy at the moment, you can wake them up by gently slapping them onto the floor. From there, make sure the fingers are spread into the mat. We push the hands, toes go into the mat. On the exhalation, we move into downward facing dog, so the knees go off the mat. And from there, you can walk the dog a little bit to wake the legs a little bit more up. So just take a moment to do that. If you want a little bit more movement in the hips, you can also take a leg off the mat, bend the knee and make circles with the leg to rotate that hip joint. If you are doing that one, make sure to do both sides. From there, we are going to wake up the spine a little bit more by waving into a high plank. So, we are rounding the spine and we're bringing the shoulders above the wrists. From there, straighten yourself out a little bit. And from there, we bend the knees. Maybe the knees come onto the mat, you don't have to. And move back into downward facing dog. And it's really all about the movement of rounding and then flattening the spine. So, waving into high plank, rounding the spine, bringing the shoulders above the wrists. From there, bending the knees and making the big circle to the back. Waving into a high plank. 2 more times. And then into downward facing dog again. Last time. Waving into a high plank. And a big circle to the back. Next inhalation, we bend the knees, look forward, walk the feet in between the hands. Hands into the shins, table off the back, so we have a straight spine. Exhaling, folding forward. Next inhalation, we circle the arms all the way up to the ceiling. Exhaling, hands in front of the heart. Standing at the front of the mat. Next inhalation, we circle the arms up to the ceiling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, right foot big step back. Front knee above the front ankle. From here, we interlock the hands behind the lower back. And on the inhalation, your next inhalation, stretch the arms and open up the chest. Gaze either to the front or slightly upwards, whichever you prefer. Next exhalation, we step to high plank. Going down, knees, chest, chin. So the knees go onto the mat and we lower the chest and chin. Inhaling for baby cobra. Make sure you use those back muscles so you're not pushing yourself up with your hands. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Inhaling, left foot up to the ceiling. Exhaling, left foot in between the hands. And we're going to make a little bit of a different motion now. So on the inhalation, the arms go up. And we bend the elbows. Shoulder blades move towards each other. Chest moves towards the front for a high cactus lunge. Exhaling, stepping to forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhaling, circling all the way up. Exhaling, hands in front of the heart. Switching sides. Inhaling, arms circle up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, left foot big step back. Front knee above the front ankle. And again, interlocking the hands behind lower back. And from there, opening up the chest area. Exhaling, stepping to high plank. Going down, knees, chest, chin. Squeeze the elbows inwards to use those tricep muscles. Inhaling for baby cobra. Exhaling for downward facing dog. Inhaling, right foot up to the ceiling. Exhaling, right foot in between the hands. We're going for that high cactus lunge again. So on the inhalation, arms go up and we bend the elbows. Exhaling, stepping to forward fold. Uttanasana. Inhaling, circling all the way up. Exhaling, hands in front of the heart. Inhaling, circling all the way up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, right foot a big step back, front knee above front ankle. From there, you're going to do something a little bit different with the arms. So we're going to place the right hand in between the shoulder blades while you stay in the lunge position. And then the left hand moves towards the other. They don't need to touch. They're just moving towards each other to open up the tricep muscles and the other muscles. So, staying here for 5 deep breaths and make it active, that lunge. So push the feet into the mat. Push the big toe into the mat. For 4. 3. 2. 1. Next exhalation. We step to high plank. And we are going to stay there for 3 deep breaths. 3. While in high plank, make sure to spread the fingers and push the hand to protect the wrist joints. Also, the elbows are at least slightly bent, they are not locked. 2. 1. From here, we go down with or without knees. Choose your option. When we are on the belly, we're interlocking the hands behind lower back. And we're going for a back bend again. So on the inhalation, we stretch the arms, the chest goes up. Gaze is slightly downwards to keep the neck relaxed. Not all the way, just a little bit. Exhaling back down. Make sure you push top feet into the mat, legs are active. Exhaling back down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Staying there for 3, 2, 1. Exhaling, moving to downward facing dog. Inhaling, right foot up to the ceiling. We're going for that lunge, but on the other side. Exhaling, right foot in between the hands. And this time you place the left hand in between the shoulder blades. And the right arm moves towards the left hand. So a little trick. If your chest and shoulder area isn't that open yet, and you want to do this pose but it's a little uncomfortable, either grab, my cats are fighting, either grab a blanket or grab a strap. And from there you can, with the hand that is moving in between the shoulder blades, throw it over the shoulder. Then grab with the other hand the strap and move them, walk them towards each other, the hands. So, staying there for 3 more deep breaths. Three. And again, keep those legs active, keep pushing. 2. 1. Exhaling, step into that high plank again. Staying there for 3 deep breaths. 3. 2. 1. Going down with or without knees. And we're going for those back bends again, but this time we're not only going to lift the chest, but also the legs. So we interlock the hands behind lower back. On the inhalation, we lift the chest up and the legs also go up. Make sure that you're pushing the thighs towards each other to really engage those inner thighs. Exhaling back down, variation of locust pose. Inhaling up. Try to make it fluid with the breath. Exhaling back down so the movement moves along with the in and exhalations. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. One more time. Inhaling up. Staying here for 3, 2, 1. Exhaling to downward facing dog. 5 deep breaths in downward facing dog. And while in downward facing dog, as mentioned before, make sure to spread the fingers to push the hands to protect those wrist joints. Elbows are slightly bent. The shoulders are pushing away from the ears. If you have a hard time knowing that, or you notice that your spine starts to round when you do that, bend the knees a little bit, or maybe quite a bit more, depending on your anatomy. The heels are pushing down towards the mat, but they don't need to touch. Staying here for 4 more deep breaths. Gaze is approximately either in between the shins or knees. For 3, 2, 1. From here, on the exhalation, we wave into a high plank, going down with or without knees. And from there, we come lie down onto our back. And we're going to practice our bridge pose a little bit. So for bridge pose, we lie onto our back. Feet are hip width apart into the mat, and you're still able to touch your heels with your fingers when you are lying down. So from there, on the inhalation, we push the hips up. And really push the feet into the mat, squeeze the butt, and don't forget to push the knees towards each other. Arms can either be next to your body. You can also choose option 2 to interlock the fingers behind the back and walk the shoulder blades towards each other for more opening in the front body. Staying here for 4. So you should really feel the lower part of your body working. 3, and you should really feel stretch along the front side of the body. 2. 1, exhaling. Hips go back down. With the hand, we're going to grab the knees with the hands and make small circles with the knees. Also circles the other way around. And then we are going for round 2. So we place the feet again hip width apart into the mat. And really when you lift your hips up, you want to make sure that your feet are directly below the knees. So that is why you want to touch the heels with your fingers. So make sure that is right. So, next inhalation. Again, we push the hips up. And either you stay here in option 1 while pushing the feet, pushing the knees towards each other and squeezing the butts. Or you can move into option 2 by interlocking the fingers and walking the shoulder blades towards each other. And again, staying here, gaze is upwards. For 5. 4, focus on your breath. It's a deep breath all the way down into the belly. For 3. 2, keep pushing the feet. 1, exhaling, hips go back down. And again, making those circles with the knees. Also circles the other way around. And from there we are going to move into the in part of this yoga practice. So, I'm going to give you 2 options for the first pose. So, one is Anahatasana, melting heart pose. The other one is a variation of fish pose. For the second option, you're going to need a block. So if you don't have a block, you can do the melting heart pose. So first I'll explain the melting heart and then the other one. So for the melting heart pose, you're coming onto the hands and knees. Hips are above the knees. We walk the arms out towards the front, and from there we drop the chest down towards the mat. And while you are down there, it's nice to play around with the hands. Maybe you want to place the hands a little bit wider to relax the shoulders and the chest a little bit more. Or maybe if you find it a little bit too much, you can also choose to place a block, a book, or anything that you have in between the floor and your chest. So, for the other one, the variation of the fish pose, we are going to use that block. We're going to lie it down onto the mat, either in option 1, 2, so the height of the blocks, or option 3. Well, it's not really option 3, is it? It's more like option 5 or 6. But choose whatever you like. And when we are lying down onto the block, you can also do this with a rolled up blanket if it's big enough. We're going to lie down onto that block, and the block will be in between the shoulder blades. So your neck isn't resting on the block. If you do notice that this is uncomfortable for your neck, you can place something under your head. The options for the arms are next to the body, or maybe you want to do them over your head, so stretching them out next to the ears. See what option is right for you. We're going to stay here for 3 minutes to make sure that you're comfortable. If you have any questions, feel free to type it into the chat. Last 5 deep breaths here. And gently we push ourselves back up. Maybe if you have props, you can remove the props, and we're just going to bring some movement back into your back. So coming onto hands and knees, and we're going to do gentle cat and cow poses. So cow is when you arch the spine, cat is when you round the spine, and really very gently do this. You can also play around a little bit with the shoulder muscles by pressing the left hand a little bit more into the mat, placing the weight onto it, and then moving that towards the right hand. So really just try to wake up the spine a little bit. from there, when you notice that your spine's a little bit more back to its normal doing, you're going to move into the next pose. So for the next pose, I really do recommend to either have a rolled up blanket or a block or a pillow that you can use. And depending on your anatomy, it may or may not feel quite nice. So what we are going to do, we're going to, I'm explaining this one now. So, what we are going to do, we're going to sit onto our butt, and from there, we are going to bend the knees, or one knee if you prefer so, and we're going to roll the calf muscle a little bit towards the outside, so that way you are able to sit with your butt onto the floor, or if you have a block, you notice that there's a big difference, even his hips out, by placing a block or a pillow under it. So, especially if you're doing the full one, in which both knees are bent and you're really moving the butt down, make sure that all your joints are feeling okay. If your hip joints are not feeling, I'm talking about your knee joints, if they are not feeling okay, grab a block, place it under your butt, or grab something and place it under your butt. If you notice that your ankle joints are feeling pressure, so the heels towards the calf, grab something you can place under the ankle to make sure that that angle in between the heels and the ankles is just a little bit less. So we're going to stay here for 3 minutes approximately. If you are doing both sides, make sure to switch after the half of the time. I will let you know when it is. And if you want, you can also play around with the placement of your hands. So maybe you just want to place your hands onto your thighs, or maybe you want to play around and place them a little bit more behind you, or maybe even coming onto the underarms, or coming all the way down onto your back. And from there, again, we are just focusing on the breath. You may notice that you feel a full front body stretch, or maybe a little bit, if you're doing it quite deeply, a little bit of pressure onto the lower back. As long as the pressure in the lower back feels comfortable, that's fine. If it hurts, come out of the pose or come a little bit more up, so a little bit less deep into the pose. If you are doing pose on one side, switch up sides. So we're at a half time point now. 1.5 more minutes to go. Last 5 deep breaths here. And gently we are coming back up. If you have any cuts on top, you make sure they are not. And really be gentle with yourself. From there we are coming to sit onto our butts. We're going to do a couple of windshield wipers. So with your hands you support your lower back. Feet are a little bit wider than hips into the mat, and let the knees fall from left to right to bring some movement into the hip joints and to bring some movement into the lower back again. And after these windshield wipers, we have already arrived at the last pose of today, which will be a little forward fold to even out for all the back bends that we just did. So when you are ready, we are coming into a butterfly pose. So we place the soles of the feet together, and again make sure that when you are sitting like this, you are able to keep your spine straight. So if necessary, put something under your bum. Another thing that you can do is to place the feet a little bit farther away from your groin area, so your legs are more in like a diamond shape. From there, we have a couple of options. Option 1 is bringing the chin down towards the chest. If this is enough, you can just stay here. Option 2, we round the spine. We fold forward and we place the back of the hands into the mat. You can let your head hang if that feels comfortable. If not, you can place your elbows onto something and then with your hands supporting your head. And really here it's all about opening up the back of the body, since we have used it quite a bit and strengthen it quite a bit. So really be gentle, let gravity do its work. And just as in the other poses, we're going to stay here for 3 minutes. Last 5 deep breaths here. And gently we push ourselves back up. And maybe before you go and lie down into your Shavasana, into your end relaxation, it might be nice to do some windshield wiping again. So what we just did with the hands supporting the lower back, feet a little bit wider in the hips, and then letting the knees fall from left to right. Or maybe you feel like just pushing your chest towards the front and then rounding the spine. So adding some movement back into the body. And when you feel that your body is feeling as it should, you can come lie down onto your back. Everything nice and relaxed. So the hand palms are facing up to the ceiling. You can either choose to close your eyes or keep a soft gaze upwards. If you notice that your lower back is feeling a little bit uncomfortable, you can choose to place the feet a little bit wider than the hips into the mat. And then let the knees fall towards each other to support, to relieve some tension off the lower part of the spine, off the lumbar spine. From there, I really invite you to come back to your natural flow of breathing, to not control anything anymore. And to really just focus on your breath, on your body, and on your mind. And Maybe you want to do a little body scan, starting from the toes, working your way up the body until you've reached the crown of the head, and in between you're looking for any muscles that are still feeling a little bit tense. And if you notice that you have some muscles that are still a little bit tense, you can focus a little bit on them. Maybe rotate your focus between the muscles if you have multiple. And if you need a little bit more, you can also choose to contract the muscle for a quick second and then relax it back. Slowly you're bringing some movement back into the body. Wiggling the toes, wiggling the fingers. And maybe you feel like stretching yourself out fully. And making yourself small by hugging the knees in towards the chest. Slowly, in your own way, when you are ready, you can come back into a comfortable seated position with your hands in front of your heart. So first of all, I would like you to thank yourself to take some time today to take care of your mind, take care of your body. And I would like to thank everyone very much for sharing your time and sharing your energy with me today. Namaste. And actually, before you leave, I have one or two questions to ask you if you want to help me out a little bit. So, we have been doing these online yoga classes now for a couple of weeks. And right now, I'm trying to figure out if... Yes, thank you for being here. Right now, I'm trying to figure out if maybe we want a different class, a different type of yoga on the schedule, maybe if we want a different time, a different day. So I would really like to know your opinion on that, if you have a little bit of time to type it down right now in the chat. And the second thing is, yes, my cats, they were very lively today. Like, oh my God, like they haven't been this lively ever during a yoga class. So literally during one pose, one cat was sitting on top of me and the other cat was really, he jumped right over my face. It was wild. So yeah, but the other thing is that I'm actually working on my bachelor thesis right now. And to be able to finish that, I need a couple more people to interview. More Hatha yoga classes, okay? So so for my bachelor thesis, I need a couple more students to interview. So if you are a student and you can help me out, have a little bit of time next week, then I would like to know. You can send something over here in the chat, but you can also send something to the USC Leiden PMs, DMs. Yeah, Dutch it would be PM, English it would be DM. So those are the things that I would like to say. And thank you for all the feedback right now. So right now I'm just scrolling a little bit to see what has been said. Thank you for all the feedback. I really appreciate it. And I think right now I probably have to log off because I don't know if there's another class waiting, honestly. Maybe I'm using their time. I don't believe so, but thank you for the feedback, and I'll be reading it a little bit. So, bye-bye.